So get this. Did you know that skipping one simple 5-minute online search could leave you completely financially responsible if a worker gets injured on your property? Or that it could literally void your entire home renovation contract? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are diving into why verifying a contractor's license in New York State is absolutely, without a doubt, the single most important step you need to take before you start any construction or renovation project. We're going to walk through a comprehensive, step-by-step guide to looking up and verifying contractor licenses, ensuring your next project is safe, legal, and fully protected. Okay, let's kick things off with a question that carries massive legal and financial stakes for your home and, of course, your wallet. What actually happens if the person you hire is unlicensed? Well, the consequences go way beyond just risking shoddy workmanship. You are exposing yourself to severe civil, financial, and even safety liabilities. Unlicensed workers typically don't carry the required insurance or bonding, and what that means is you, as the property owner, could literally be on the hook for property damage or workplace injuries. And this quote right here brilliantly illustrates the harsh reality from a legal perspective. According to guidelines from the New York City Bar Association, if you hire an unlicensed contractor, the contract you sign with them is legally void. It's completely unenforceable. They forfeit all rights to demand compensation or keep your deposits. They can't even seek recovery under the equitable theory of quantum merit, which is just a fancy legal way of saying they can't even ask for the reasonable value of the services they already provided. It is a strict zero-tolerance approach by the state. To help you navigate New York's highly fragmented system, this explainer is broken down into a clear roadmap. We'll cover the NY contracting landscape, the unlicensed contractor trap, a step-by-step verification guide, navigating county-level overlays, red flags and smart safeguards, and finally, a conclusion and legal disclaimer. Section 1. The NY contracting landscape. Now, what's really interesting here is that there is no single statewide general contractor license. It's kind of like a giant puzzle. Instead, you have to look at a specific hierarchy to figure out exactly which agency governs your specific project. If you're in the 5 boroughs doing structural, plumbing, or electrical work, you're looking at the New York City Department of Buildings. For residential home improvement, you deal with the Department of Consumer and Worker Protection, or the DCW. And outside the city, well, the New York State Department of State handles registrations for 26 participating counties. So the crucial point to remember is that Article 36A of the General Business Law sets the baseline for residential projects across the state. It essentially requires home improvement contractors working on 1 to 4 family owner-occupied homes to register. But because New York operates under the municipal home rule law, individual counties and municipalities can, and absolutely do, add their own strict regulatory layers right on top of the state baseline. Section 2. The unlicensed contractor trap. Let's contrast your safety nets here because the differences are huge. Hiring a licensed contractor guarantees proper written contracts and liability insurance. In New York City, it uniquely makes you eligible for the DCWP Reimbursement Trust Fund, which is a massive safety net if a contractor abandons a project and you win a judgment they can't pay. On the flip side, hiring unlicensed labor means your contract is totally void, and you entirely lose access to vital protections like that city reimbursement fund if the work goes south. Let's talk about contract thresholds for a second. Statewide, under that Article 36A we just mentioned, any home improvement project exceeding $500 must be executed through a formal written contract. That contract has to explicitly outline the scope of work, the timeline, and crucially, the contractor's trade license numbers. But beware, because local codes can enforce even stricter rules. For instance, New York City actually mandates a DCWP license and a written contract for any home improvement project costing over a mere $200. I mean, think about it. That covers almost any minor repair or tiny renovation you could possibly think of. Section 3. Step-by-Step Verification Guide. Okay, so these 4 steps are your ultimate safeguard. First, identify if your project falls under structural DOB rules, consumer DCWP rules, or a local county board. Second, and this is super important, gather the contractor's exact legal entity name. Don't just use their doing business as or DBA name, because that might mask their true legal history. Third, navigate only to official state or city portals. And finally, when you search, you are looking for an active status, and you absolutely must review the portal for any open violations or disciplinary actions. And remember, the state and county tools are always free. Never ever pay a third-party site to access this public information. Third-party aggregator websites might try to charge you a fee, or worse, they might provide outdated information. Always stick to official URLs ending in .gov or .nyc.gov. Section 4. Navigating county-level overlays. Because the state delegates so much power locally, you've got to know that each suburban county has highly unique rules and verification portals. Nassau uses an e-services lookup tool. Suffolk has its own Office of Consumer Affairs portal. Westchester goes a step further, actually allowing compliance officers to file formal wage theft complaints that can directly revoke a contractor's license. And Rockland County, they regulate 48 distinct trades, enforcing 3 entirely separate application tracks based on experience, out-of-jurisdiction reciprocity, or surety bonds. It's a lot to navigate. It's also vital to be aware of local administrative quirks when doing your research. Like, get this, if you're searching the Rockland County database, you should know that it undergoes daily maintenance and actually goes offline for 15 minutes around 4:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Plus, Rockland recently severed its mechanical trade reciprocity with neighboring Putnam County, which means Putnam contractors can no longer automatically work in Rockland. You always have to check those local municipal updates. Section 5. Red flags and smart safeguards. When you're interviewing a contractor, you want to watch out for these massive red flags. The biggest one, if they fail to provide a written contract, or if they try to somehow bypass your statutory 3-day right of rescission, which is the rule that allows you to cancel the agreement without penalty. Also, check that the entity name on the contract perfectly matches the name you found in the license database. If the portal says expired, suspended, or revoked, walk away immediately. No questions asked. Finally, for older homes, ensure they hold valid EPA RRP lead paint certificates and not just generic safety courses. Furthermore, working with a licensed contractor holds them to a really strict standard of accountability. For instance, a legitimate New York City contractor is bound by DCWP rules that require them to address your formal consumer complaints in writing within 20 days. If they ignore you, they face automatic secondary violations from the city. Unlicensed contractors can just disappear into thin air, but licensed ones have a formal dashboard they literally have to answer to. Section 6. Conclusion and legal disclaimer. So verify before you hire. Taking a few moments to navigate these databases gives you absolute peace of mind. It ensures your property is in the hands of verified professionals who actually carry the proper insurance, obey local building codes, and have real legal accountability. Don't let the excitement of a brand new renovation blind you to the totally vital step of license verification. And as a quick reminder, the information provided in this explainer is strictly for educational purposes based on current public databases and state guidelines. It does not constitute legal advice. Always consult professional legal counsel for your specific situation and conduct your own thorough due diligence before signing any contracts. I leave you with this final thought to consider before you hire anyone to work on your most valuable asset. The tools are free, they are online, and they're built specifically to protect you. So when it comes to your home, your safety, and your life savings, are you willing to risk it all just to skip a 5-minute search? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy and safe renovating.